After the invocation, if you will, please remain standing. We will be lighting the candle for John Watson. We'd like to have a moment of silence at that time. Now for the national anthem. Hit it, Cal. See, can see my daughter Eli, but so proudly yet, and trials past me, whose arms and bright stars will wear on the sky. For the ramparts we watch were so gallantly straight, and the rockets strengthened, and the waters taken through the night, and the flames shoot down, and the sailors that so sing, and pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Invocation be brought to us in turn.
When I did blessing last time, I was about halfway through it, and the phone went off from my hearing aid. I don't have a phone with me this time. Let us pray. Father in heaven, we give thanks, Lord, for those gathered here and for the sense of our purpose we share. As we begin a new year, grant our new officers stamina, patience, wisdom, a sense of humor, that we may relax together and so create meaningful fellowships and selfless service without taking ourselves too seriously. Thank you for giving us guidance. Christ, and we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Tom. If you will, please remain standing. John, we're lighting a candle in memory of our memory that went to our Club Eternal this year, Mr. John Watson. Anyone who knows John, which we all do, there's no one in this community who has not been touched by the selfless acts of John Watson, either directly, indirectly, or by example. True Rotarian, service above self. Let's please bow our heads. We'll observe a moment of silence for John. Maybe see Family Rotary, Terry Duffy.
Thank you, President Allen. I hope everybody's having a great day. Fantastic week as we get ready to celebrate the 250th birthday of this great country that we were so blessed to be in and be a part of. Celebrate birthdays locally. Wayne Farmer, July the 2nd. We have a couple on July the 5th. Why they couldn't have made it on the 4th, I don't know. This was John Brown and Jed Downs. Dr. Linda Young on July 6th. James Etheridge, July 10th. And Michael Goodman on July 11th. 3 anniversaries. Robert Ferguson and Karen, July 5th, and a pair on July 8th, Charles Bunting and Amy. and Tom West and Ms. Carol. Hope all of you have a great week. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry.
We are happy to welcome our guests and visiting Rotarians today. When I call your name, would you please stand and remain standing for all visitors? We have Connie King, guest of Terry Duffy. Lisa Richards, guest of the club. Susan Bloomberg, guest of the club. We have Grayson Stewart, guest of Josh Chapman. And Asher McNeil, guest of Bruce McNeil. Let's give them a round of applause.
Thank you, Donald. Ken Baskin, Kathy Murphy.
We have 2,141 points.
Our lucky number today is 871. 871.
I'll take it.
John Brown.
Whoa.
Oh, that's a great oh.
Pull it, John.
Great.
I'll try again next time. Thank you, John. This time I'd like to welcome back a member, Ron Wilson. Will, am I understanding? Ron's back with us as a full member of Dothan Rotary Club. Ron, great to have you back. Now, at this time, it is a privilege for me to actually honor one of our members. This member, I believe, joined us in 1962, if I'm not mistaken. He's actually, I believe, had 3 Paul Harrises, according to our records. And anybody who knows him, you may know that at this point I'm referring to our guest, Mr. Leslie Bloomberg. Leslie's been in our community for quite a while. And if you don't know Leslie, Leslie and Susan were married June 18th, 1967. They became true partners in the lives they lived and loved together. Their strength of Dothan citizens and organizations with a heart and love and commitment to helping others. The legacy they have built together is a testament to their belief. You know, Leslie was born in Dothan and attended Marion Military Institute. Susan's originally from Salisbury, North Carolina, and attended the University of Georgia. Leslie spent 2 years studying Germany as a corporal, as a cryptographer. Is that correct? In the U.S. Army. While his military service, he attended New York School of Retailing and moved to Atlanta and worked in Rich's department store in their training program. In 1961, Leslie came home to Dothan and began working in the family business. Bloomberg's originally immigrated from Lithuania. Leslie worked at the store until it was sold in 1975. After leaving the retail business, Leslie became a real estate developer and was successful in many other endeavors. You know, Leslie's been a member of the Dothan Rotary Club for 62 years. And that was 4 years ago when I pulled this about. Thank you, Leslie. And at this point, I would like to present Leslie with honorary membership to the Dothan Rotary Club. And I'll come to you, sir. You're welcome here at any time. You can be my guest of the club. We appreciate all you've done in your lifetime and what you've done for Dothan and for this club. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's always great to have the opportunity to honor someone like Leslie Blue. This time, this will be, the last program that I'll have. We turn the club over to the new administration coming in. But I did want to say thank you to everyone here for allowing me to serve. This time we'll start to begin recognizing individuals, board members, and we'll do that as we go through the program. I just want to say, as we do start recognizing individuals for their particular service, board service, things of that nature, that everyone in this room has served in some way in Dothan Rotary Club and continues to serve. And this cannot be done without each and every one of you. Now, for me, when I came into Rotary, how many years ago that was, what sold me on Rotary, or what pulled me to Rotary, was service above self. I go back, I may not be an exemplary person of my faith, but I try to be. I go back to 1 Peter 4:10, and this is something I try to live by, and I see most of you here. 1 Peter 4:10, each of you should use whatever gift you have received, serve others as faithful steward of God's grace. And here's the kicker. In its various forms. Every individual here is different, has different gifts. Please use those. Look for them. We see it in you. Please use it to serve others. At this point, we've got a slideshow to go through. And as I talk about the contributions and the willingness of this club, this PowerPoint is really brought to you by Alex Reynolds, but I'm going to stand over here. Alex, and I need a little bit of support, and Alex is very gracious in his time to help me walk through this presentation. Thank you, Alex.
Yes, sir.
But I'll go through. Which one? Right. This is just a little bit of Dothan Rotary Club and what some of the things that went on this year. Not everything's included, but we've got a little bit. Just wanted to go through a few things. First of the year, we started off with a drive to supply Girard Elementary School. Historically, we've done a paper drive throughout the year. I was talking to some of the administrators at the school, and there are things that they actually need that they're not getting elsewhere. Paper is a great donation, but there are certain things they actually need in their schools that they just can't get grants or help with. And we're very fortunate that Girard worked with us and gave us a wish list. We were very fortunate to be able to supply them. And the club members brought the products, put a list out, and they're extremely grateful. Will Golson and some of the Outlaw Club helped deliver that. That was very encouraging for us. And we moved into the dictionary project. I believe we gave away over 700 dictionaries to Houston County students. You see some of the members here are actually putting labels for the 4-way test and where it came from inside the dictionaries. And we actually delivered to all the schools. We just got a few snapshots here. We see Pat, so incoming President John, past President Rick, a few others here in this presentation. We actually had one of our offsite meetings at the Peanut Festival. That seems to be something everybody enjoys. We'll probably continue doing that. And here's a fantastic white elephant sale this year. We had a great turnout. We were raised to give it. See, the check we actually were able to give this building to actually support all the proceeds went to support this campus. We were actually able to donate $67,000 to WRC this year. And here's a great picture of the club itself. Check. We had a food bank donation, and forgive me, I did not have that number here. That was from the foundation, I believe, that we gave to the food bank. And here I need a little bit of support. One of our favorite projects, the Senior Citizens Luncheon. Is that loud enough? We haven't called people in the church. Going through this, one of the senior citizens actually told me that it gets better every year. These people look forward to this more than any of us really realize. This is the highlight of their years. Come to this. Great project. I almost hate we don't have the individual guy singing. He did a great job. After that, this was actually at our meeting. The Houston Academy Chorale actually came to this meeting and entertained us during the Christmas season with their chorale program. Help me on this one. Merry Christmas. We're here. The Salvation Army kettle ringing is just a fantastic program. Side note, the Salvation Army, those of you who don't know how important that is over the years. I had a friend of mine's grandfather actually fought the song Battle of the Bulge in that area. I don't know if you know anything about that, but it was extremely cold. And, it was hard to get supplies to them. but on Christmas Day, Salvation Army had put Salvation Army wagon on a military track and brought them the Salvation Army wagon with coffee, donuts, blankets, and supplies. And that gentleman told me, and this was, of course, more than just a couple of years ago, he said, there are two things he'll never do. Number one, he'll never ask for another white Christmas. Number two, he'd never pass a red kettle without putting something in it. Christmas toy drive, Marcus held that up with us. It was a fantastic program. We were searching for some better pictures for that. This was that's a great program. That's something that we all pull out of our pockets individually and as a group to support the children that need it in this community. That's part of what this club does. Fantastic. One of our off-site meetings was at Hudson Alpha. Did everybody enjoy that? A good program?
Good
I
program,
thought it
yeah.
was. Judge Johnson's not here to thank him, but he did a great job putting that together. Then we move into the Purple Pinky program. This year, I was trying to recall how much money we actually raised. I did not mark it here, but once again, we actually led the district that we're in overall, which has Montgomery, Mobile, all that. This is the #1 leading club in donut distribution and sales. One of our ongoing programs is 4-H watches. These people will actually tell you years from now they still have these watches, and that's just so gratifying to hear. I've heard more than one tell me that. As you know, this was our last year of the Dorothy Harlan Scholarship. Fantastic job of taking care of this. We had 12 recipients. I believe it was $1,500 a recipient, close to it. It's $18,000 distributed to every one of these students, 12 students. And I'm thankful to say, or really gratified to say, checking with Robert last month, every institution has been paid the scholarship money, which is fantastic. I was vocation chairman. We did one, and we were stretching to get Wallace paid on that one. But these went Wallace, Enterprise, Auburn, Alabama, but we have one in Georgia. And every one of those institutions has been paid. That is fantastic. Camp Asca, I've got Greg noted on the left. He actually supported us on the Camp Asca on his El Camino walk. I'm so thankful for that. The money went to Camp Asca. And to the right is, I believe it was $638 delivered the day the Camp Asca program was brought to us. Out of this room, we raised that money to go back to Camp Asca. As we talk about Camp Asca, we always funded that through the ticket sales, which we still do. But I would ask this club to continue considering ways to support Camp Asca. Our Outlaw Club does a great job. I don't know how much time it's spent with them, or actually talk with Will about what they're doing. They have ongoing projects. This is just two. They did some work on the right from Habitat of Humanity. On the left, they were, consistently work as Miracle Field Buddies. If you're not familiar or understand exactly what they do, find out where they're meeting normally on Thursday. That's a great little group to go meet with, fun group. You'll find out what's going on in the upcoming members of this group. And those guys actually tend to move into this group as they get a little bit further in their careers. Just want to go through. This is nothing in order and anything really great significance. Well, they all are. Just wanted to highlight a few programs. We had Dothan Soccer. We had CDAC, which is, that's still one of my favorite photos. From Steve Marshall and Ryan Richards here as well. Sheriff Lindsay, Catherine Robertson, and just a few snapshots of members. Bottom line, Dothan Rotary Club, service above self. And I want to thank everyone here for taking that mantle on and always looking for ways to serve. And I say that not only through this club, I see a lot of people here that are not only members of serve as members of this club, serve on needed boards and other clubs. Just want to thank you so much for what you do. Thank y'all. At this time, I would like to thank some of our board members. First thing I want to do is return your clicker. Thank you. You know, this has really been a good year for us as a club. You know, continue to make a few remarks, not all at once. You know, this club works because of each of you here. And the designated board that we have is just that we could not have had a better board. The board we have upcoming is fantastic. And I realized as I went through some of the other roles, that is, when I sit up here, that's evidently is why the board is doing so well, because I'm not really on the board anymore. We've got some really good, active members on the board, and we appreciate what y'all do. And this time, I'd just like to thank a few board members. Rick Riker. Rick served as our vocational chairman, or not our vocational chairman, but our past president. Thank you so much. Thank you for giving. If you will, let's just, I think we want to get a picture of everybody. And John, I will thank you as well. Thank you so much for your support.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Wes Grant, great job this year, Wes. Wes is not here. Is Troy here? I don't think so. Lawrence? Marcus Gannon. Thank you, Marcus. Just said thank you. See, Michael's not a Kelly. Thank you, Kelly. I appreciate you, all you do. Really appreciate your presence. Jason Rudd. Jason, thank you so much. Heather, Heather's our club secretary and does a fantastic job. Every board meeting we have every month, one of the things we cover is past due invoices. And one of the main jobs Heather has is to my invoices. Heather, thank you so much. Thank you. Jenny? Thank you so much, Jenny. Someone that did not recognize early, because Mike and Sheila Hazel, I just want to recognize you for what you do to support this club, and I'll bring you soon.
You guys all work.
Thank you. Stephanie Walker is not here today. However, I do want to recognize Stephanie for what she did. She actually filled in and stepped up on the white elephant sale. And I think did a fantastic job, and we do need to recognize her for that. So at this point, I'll speak to Kelly. Let's see. Kelly, you're rotating off the board this year. Does not mean that you leave this club or your dedication to the club. We just want to thank you for your service, for all you've done. Now, at this point, Kelly, you can be seated if you'd like.
Step in. Yeah, step in.
I get ready.
Well, I think John and Rick, you can sit. Well, Rick's coming off the board this year as well. However, Heather, you're not necessarily on the board, but this time. Please still come to the meetings. Well, Marcus, Jason, Jenny, you've been elected to important positions in administration as further for Dothan. This is an indication of our esteem and confidence in all of you. We believe you will uphold the high tradition of our club, that you will give the best of your executive ability in furtherance of interests of our club and carry forward the object program. Repeat after me. I, state your name, do accept and understand the charges of the office with which I'm elected, will work with diligence for the betterment of the club. You're now fully inducted for 2026-27 board of directors. Thank you. Not only the board of directors, but there are two people here I would like to recognize that are consistently here and helping programs every week. James Etheridge. I'd like to thank Art Morris, Chris Pruitt, Cal Whaley, and Terry Duffy is always here for Family of Rotary, and very much a part of how our weekly programs work, and you're appreciated very much. Thank you. Now, this time I'd like John Brown to come forward. Now, We all know, we've worked with John for several years, He's been in the club since 2009. We've been very active in the community, very active in this club, and myself after club, we support you for your upcoming year. At this time, I would like for you to repeat after me. I, John Brown, as president of Dothan Rotary Club, will, to the best of my ability, administer the duties of office of president in a businesslike manner and in accordance with the club's constitution and bylaws. John, you have been elected to the office of president of the Rotary Club of Dothan by its members of his expression and the expression of their confidence in your leadership. I hereby declare the new officers and directors installed, and President John Brown, I will give you the gavel.
Thank you.
As a symbol of transfer of the club's administration. John, congratulations.
It's really an honor to be standing up here and taking on this responsibility. But before I move forward, I do want to say thank you to a couple of people. Lisa, thank you for supporting Alan. I did have a token of appreciation to give you if you want to come forward. Alan, you can come on up as well. As we just heard, you have had a busy year. We really appreciate your leadership over this past year. And there's a couple of things we would like to honor you with. One thing is Paul Harris, in the 1940s, went around and visited several Rotary clubs. One in particular he visited was in Tuskegee. And each time he went by to visit one of those clubs, they planted what's called a friendship tree. And during different natural disasters, those trees fell down in Tuskegee, but the Rotary Club locally there turned those trees into gavels. So we actually ordered a gavel for you, Alan. I present that to you today. Congratulations. We also want to honor you with the Paul Harris Fellow. All right, so the presentation of a Paul Harris Fellow recognition is the Rotary Foundation's way of expressing its appreciation for its substantial contribution to its humanitarian and educational programs. It is named in honor of our founder, Paul Harris. Paul Harris founded the Rotary Club in 1905. We move closer to a world of peace and goodwill as Alan, you become Paul Harris Fellow today. It gives me great pleasure, Alan, to present you with emblems of appreciation to recognize you as a part of this Harris Fellow. So I give you today Paul Harris 1+ pin in appreciation for your year as president of the Rotary Club.
John, thank you so much.
And also, this is your past president badge to wear.
Thank you.
Let's stand and get to I was wondering what this cake was up here on the counter.
Lisa, made you a
Thank you. I just wanted to make a few opening comments as I start off my year as president. it's probably been 2.5 years ago, Greg, that you called me. And you mentioned past presidents met together and were thinking I might be a good candidate for the future Rotary president. So it took me a few days to really kind of ponder that responsibility because this is a big time commitment. I've been a Rotarian now for almost 17 years, which is a long time. And there's a lot of people in this club that have had many more years than I have. So I felt like it was an obligation to the club that I step up in this role and lead for the next year. So thank you for the honor, Greg. I also wanted to share just real quickly a story about how I became a Rotarian, just to give you a little bit of an idea on 17 years ago why I said yes to being a member of this club. When I was a young boy, my parents were foster parents. So we always had a large group of kids in our home. And every Christmas, there were Christmas gifts donated that I didn't know until 17 years ago came from this Rotary Club. So when I found that out as I was going through orientation for the Dothan Rotary Club, I said, this is a club I want to support because I need to give back. I need to give back to my community, to the people that came before me, that gave to my family, to the foster children in our home. In the last 17 years, I also found the second passion here at Rotary, and that's the Wiregrass Rehab Center. It was a pleasure to serve on the Wiregrass Rehab Center board for 9 years. In 2 of those years, I was chairman of the board. So there's things I'm really passionate about in this community. I want to give back, and this is just one way of me doing that. President. So thank y'all, and I appreciate the honor of doing this for y'all. Thank you. As we close, just a reminder, we're not going to have a meeting next week since we have July 4th holidays approaching. The next program is going to be July the 13th. We're going to have Southeast Health come and speak about their ER expansion project they have upcoming. And with that, I do want to mention we're going to have a board meeting too on July 13th. After the Rotary meeting, we're going to have our first board meeting. So look forward to hosting that. If y'all rise. Say the 4-way test. Is it true?
Is it fair to all concerned? Will it root with better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all?
Have a great afternoon. You know,